Hi friends, welcome back to Texas Family Life. Today we are making marmalade. The kids have been really liking what?
Marmalade.
No. Paddington. So the original book is really good, and Paddington talks about making marmalade and how delicious it is, and that's what he survives on. And so they also have seen the Paddington movie, and they thought that making some marmalade would be very fun. Okay. So we got a lot of these oranges. These are actually mandarins, and so they're kind of like the cuties, and they peel well, but these were on super sale, so we are going to peel them. Marmalade is one of the easiest things you can make, jam or jelly wise. It is so simple. So we're just gonna quarter these oranges, put them in a pan, and go from there. So I'm gonna show you how we go and do it first. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to quarter these and put them in my food processor. You could probably chop it super finely, but you're gonna want something like a food processor or maybe a blender. And you don't want the pieces teeny tiny, but just little chunks. And in the meantime, I also have my jars soaking in some water to clean them and sterilize them before putting them in the can. We're just gonna cut up these oranges and we're gonna quarter them. I'm gonna let the kids help cut some of them. I'll probably do most of them, but it's great to let them practice their cutting skills. They gotta learn eventually, so I'm gonna let them help. Oh my gosh. So we're gonna cut these up and put them in the food processor. All right, so we are going to go ahead and run the food processor. We haven't even cut up all the oranges yet. It was about half of them, but we're gonna go ahead and process these and go ahead and pour them into the pan that we're gonna use to simmer it down. We're not taking the orange peel off, and these really, we've seen how many seeds?
One.
We've only seen one seed. So we're not gonna worry about seeds, and we're gonna leave the peel on because this is what helps with pectin. It's natural pectin in the oranges and in the white stuff, which is called pith. And so that helps it set up and gel. So you don't have to add an artificial gel when you're making this. That's one of my favorite things about this recipe is it's pretty natural other than the sugar. I am doubling this recipe. So the original recipe calls for 1 lemon and 4 or 5 oranges, but I did about 5-10 oranges, and so I'm gonna do 2 lemons. So I'm gonna zest them, and then I'm gonna squeeze the remaining juice into the marmalade that's already been processed.
Could I squeeze a lemon too? I know how to do it fast like this. Shh. We're gonna squeeze it. I don't like squeezing it.
You don't wanna squeeze it? Why?
I don't like squeezing
Can you really
it in
squeeze
my
it?
hand. I'll squeeze it. Can I squeeze it in with
You have to
that
face it over this.
thing? Can I squeeze it in?
Squeeze hard.
I said tomato, don't say.
All right, so we juiced these lemons. We got quite a bit of juice. I'm just gonna add it straight into our nice little concoction here. And then I'm going to add the sugar and we're gonna put it on the stovetop and just let it simmer for, it'll take a little while. And in the meantime, we're gonna put a plate in the freezer. And this is something that's gonna be super helpful. We're gonna put a plate in the freezer, and that way while we're cooking this and you're wondering, is it thick enough and is it cooked long enough? You can drop some onto this frozen plate and you're gonna drag your finger across or spoon across. And if it doesn't drip and stream back together quickly, then it's pretty much ready to be put into the jars. So it's in this, a little old trick. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the freezer while we get ready to put the lemon juice and the sugar in here. Okay, so, and also we're going to add a half a cup of water. And the recipe calls, since this is doubled, it calls for 8 cups of sugar, which sounds like way too much. I'm not gonna do 8. I can add a little bit more. Oh, and stir your thing around and find a, I just found a big chunk of orange.
No, I want it. Mommy, I thought that was for that.
All right, so we're gonna keep an eye out for any seeds, because when you're eating this on like a piece of English muffin with butter on it, you don't wanna bite into a lemon seed. Lemon seeds are so bitter and they just ruin everything if you get a bite. So we're gonna go ahead and add a half a cup of water.
A seed. No, a seed.
Hold on. We're gonna add a half a cup of water and we're going to add the sugar.
No, a seed.
I know, a seed.
I think that might be a seed. I know it's orange seed.
All right, so my pan may not be big enough. I'm pretty sure it's not big enough. So I'm gonna transfer it to my crock pot over there and hope I don't make the biggest mess, because if you know me and you've watched any of my videos, I always make a mess. I'm gonna bring that pot over here and put it in there. All right, so you wanna want something bigger than this skillet. And you're going to want to start out with something bigger than the skillet. So I'm gonna pour this in here. It's probably gonna make a huge mess. Oh, it's heavy. Haha.
Good. Didn't use me.
I didn't. That's a first. Because I did the 4 cups of sugar and the recipe calls for 8, so I was gonna do a little bit more than 4, but not by much, because with all the pectin that's naturally in here, the sugar is really not necessary. But also, I have little kids. This is something fun. I'm not doing this in order to like make a healthy meal. So if you're here for a healthy meal video, this is not the right place, because this is supposed to be very yummy. So this is a lot. I only got about 9 jars out. I have many more jars, so we will probably end up needing more jars. All right, Izzy, add that in here. Okay, so I did 6 cups instead of 8. I'm not gonna do 8. You can add like a cinnamon stick if you like that kind of flavor, but I feel like cinnamon makes it a whole lot less versatile. Like this can be used to put on chicken. You can use it to make, it's not yucky, like a chicken breast kind of thing. You can use it to do all sorts of things, but if you added cinnamon, then it would be like a strictly breakfast thing, in my opinion. I'm sure there are many people that are okay with putting cinnamon in dinner meals. I don't know. So that is about it, you guys. We are going to put this on the stove and let it simmer for a good while until it starts thickening up.
That looks delicious. I wish I could taste it. He knew that they won't.
All right, so we're going to bring this to a boil and then reduce it down to a simmer and let it simmer starting at 30 minutes. It may take longer depending on many factors. I guess depending on like how high the temperature is and everything like that. So we're gonna start at 30 minutes and go from there. So there you have it, orange marmalade, and it is so easy. I'd say the hardest part is waiting for it to thicken. Now these will last in a jar after you open them for a couple days. You can also freeze them for a few months, but if you're not gonna water process them, which I did not this time, then they're not gonna last as long. But you can do a water bath, and that's where you sit them in the pot of water. So comment below if this is something that you would like to receive as a gift from somebody, or if that'd just be weird to you. Because I have a lot of friends that I'm like, oh, I'd love to give them a jar, but then I don't know if they're gonna be weirded out by it. I have one friend that I know, and she told me that one of the things that makes her feel most loved is when people give her like homemade canned things and like baked goods, and so that was a great thing to know. But let me know, like, if someone came to your house with a jar of marmalade, would you actually eat it? Or would you be like, oh, that's nice? I put some in some smaller jars as well, and it's just, it works out so well. We're so excited about this. Now, if your rind is a little thicker, you might want to peel half the oranges so that it's not bitter, because you can make bitter marmalade if the peel is too thick. So there's the brand Cuties, and I think those peels will be thin enough. My peels were a little on the thick side, so it is a little bit on the bitter side. But I do think if you just peel some of them and remove some of the pith, then it'll be better. Well, I truly hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope that you will take time to try to make some marmalade this year. It seems like a very fall into summer kind of thing to make, and so I think it's a good idea. And it's wonderful to be able to gift your friends with something like this. And if you've never made like jams or jellies or marmalades, this is a really easy place to start, because you're not working with artificial pectin or anything like that. It's very straightforward, and I think you'd really like it. I can't wait to see you guys again soon, and I hope you have a blessed rest of your week. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, guys.